known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers' best bet or daily package for only $2.
Welcome to WagerTalk Today here on Tuesday, September 13th, 2022. Your Sports Central for Gamblers, live every weekday on WagerTalk TV. Noon for you, East Coast, 9 a.m. for us here on the left coast. And we have a loaded show for Tuesday. I'm Teddy Covers. I expect to be joined by my co-host and partner here on the show, Lawrence Presman. Shortly, he's having some technical difficulties, but let's at least set up the show right now. First time Wager Talk Today guest Ben Burns is going to join us right at the top. He's going to talk a little bit of college football, talk about the Auburn game, and of course, the Rams and the Falcons in the NFL. Carmine Bianco as guest number 2 today. We're going to talk a couple of European soccer matches. And of course, every Tuesday, Dave Sharapan closes out the show with his knowledge of the sports betting universe, a guy who's been around the block as a sportsbook director for many, many years. We're lucky to have him on every Tuesday to share his knowledge with us. But before we get into the guests, let's talk a little bit about what we learned last night. And I'll tell you what I learned last night. Hoo-wee! What bettors learned? Well, the Broncos fumbled twice inside the 5-yard line. They settled for a field goal after 1st and goal from the 3. They certainly weren't the wrong side last night. They outgained Seattle by more than 200 yards. They needed only a field goal to win the game. They get the ball back at their own 22-yard line with 4 minutes and 2 seconds to play. You have a run, you have an incomplete pass, you have a short pass, you have another short pass, and they get it out to what? The 40-yard line by the 2-minute warning. They move the ball 18 yards in the first 2 minutes and 2 seconds. And then, from the 2-minute warning, they run a grand total of 4 plays. 1, 2, 3, 4. And obviously, if you're watching the game, you know what happened. The clock ticked. They were sitting in 4th and 5. It looked like Nathaniel Hackett didn't know what to do. And he didn't. He made the wrong choice in that ball game. The way wrong choice in that ball game. You're sitting there again. You have 1 and 11 left. When it was 3rd and 14 with 1:11 left. And the pass went for 9 yards, and then the clock just went tick, tick, tick. It's easy to pile on the coach after that debut. Not exactly an ideal sequence on national TV to start the Nathaniel Hackett era in Denver. And honestly, it's not a close choice for Hackett. All right. 64-yard field goals. There's been 2 of them made in the last 10 years. You don't take that shot. All right. You take the 4th and 5 shot. And the ESPN analytics made me nuts, dude. Ed Werder tweeted out that the ESPN analytics said 30% field goal, 29% go for it. Recognize this. The ESPN analytics are wrong. They're legitimately a joke, and anyone who could bet into them would make a fortune. That's why they're there for entertainment purposes only. All right, McManus is elite. He couldn't hit that field goal. Wilson versus a tired defense needing only 5 yards. It's easy. All right, and after one game in Denver, all right, remember, they ran Vic Fangio out of town, all right? I don't think he'll even vacation in the state of Colorado ever again. Well, be careful of what you wish for. No team in the NFL underachieved more than Denver over the last 2 years. 2022, more of the same, at least so far. Looks like we have Prez back joining us. So, Prez, what do you think of Monday Night Football last night?
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. What did I think of Monday Night Football? So I texted Carm. I don't think in all my years I have been more stressed, frustrated. I was anxiety riddled. I hated every single moment of the game. To give you perspective, Teddy, Denver, I had Denver as the back half of a teaser. So it wins. I'm up 6% in week one in NFL. It loses. I'm down 2%. Plus I have all of these people on the odd couple promotion, Denver is the swing play at -0.5 on whether they all win or lose. And I have Denver as my survivor play. So I've had I entered 3 survivors. One with Vivian, she picked Indy. One with you, we picked San Fran. And one with me, Denver. So, well, the good news is I don't have to worry about Survivor until next year, which actually is a good thing on a whole, Teddy, because ultimately, if I'm going to lose Survivor, I would rather lose it in week 1. Like, just get it out of the way. I said to Carm, I don't think I ever been more frustrated in my life over a game, and it wasn't the enormity of the game. I mean, it's a game, dude. I'm not so Survivor's or Schmiver, and I don't go into these things thinking I'm going to win it when 6,000 people have entered. It's my clients. That's the priority for me. And by the way, Slow Jam's presidential address did not go 0-3 yesterday. Come on, man. Anyway, it was the goal line disaster, one after another after another. And you're sitting there and you're scratching your head and you can't believe it. And I heard the end of what you were saying, Teddy. How do you not give the ball to Russell Wilson on 4th and 5? I mean, Pete Carroll was probably sitting there going, "What? What are you trying to do here?" I mean, and then he misses the first kick on a timeout. You would think that might clue into the coach, hey, let's go for it on 4th and 5. And as far as the analytics go, those analytics that you were talking about are so stupid, it's ridiculous. I'm going to go out on a limb, Teddy. I'm going to argue that Russell Wilson has a greater chance of completing a 4th and 5 than Drew Lock does, than Matt Hasselbeck does, than Joe Flacco does, than almost every quarterback ever does. And those analytics take into account all the quarterbacks, all the offensive line, all the teams. They're not Russell Wilson specific. Anyway.
Feel better?
No. Wake up, yeah. Bitcoin dropped 1,500. Should we just bring Ben Burns in?
Lawrence, I'm glad that you were able to close out the Teddy and the Prez special with a rough night. It is what it is, my friend. I did my best.
2 baseball dogs, lost them both. Last night was a freaking disaster. Well, last night's over. Okay,
a good
Ben
thing
Burns.
that it's today.
Ben Burns, I'm excited to have you on the show, dude. Especially with the glasses, the Terminator, Teddy. And you know what? It's appropriate, man. Guys, Ben Burns, probably the top 5 handicapper sale-wise, maybe of all time. We're honored to have you, Ben. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for that intro, Prez. You must be really special. I've been doing this for a long time, and I never do these videos. So, yeah, you and Teddy make the call. I'm here.
Yeah. Listen, it's funny because Teddy and I were talking about it last night, and we both agreed that I am very special. Ben, it is a privilege to have you with us, dude. And we begged and pleaded with you to come on the show, so thank you for doing that. You've got a bet for us on the Auburn college football game. They are +3. Let's start there, my friend. How are we betting that game?
Well, I'll grab the points with the Tigers, but I don't really expect to need them. I had Penn State in its win at Purdue, so I'm aware that the Lions are capable of winning on the road. However, this will prove to be a far more difficult venue. Last year, when the Tigers visited Happy Valley, they had to contend with a whiteout. This year, it's the Lions who will need to deal with an orange out. The fans will all be wearing orange, and the players will be wearing orange face masks. It's going to be loud. Last year, the Lions made a late goal line stand to hang on for a 28-20 victory. It was close the entire way. Total yards were roughly equal. When I played on Penn State in week 1, I mentioned that Purdue didn't have the ground game to take advantage of Penn State's defensive losses. That's not the case here. While the Tigers may have some issues with their passing attack, the running game is in good hands. Tank Bigsby ran for more than 100 yards last year and is poised for another big game. He's an elite back running behind a veteran line. Their number 2 runner, Hunter, already has 4 touchdowns too. Yes, the Lions did hang on for the cover last year. They're still 1-6 ATS their last 7 against teams from the SEC, though. Inspired by the home fans and the orange out, look for the Tigers to rise to the occasion and get some payback.
Ben Burns says, take a look at the Auburn Tigers plus the points on Saturday in college football. Ben, let's shift our focus to the NFL and talk about a pair of teams off disappointing week 1 losses, but in very different fashion. The LA Rams, they got outplayed, they were outcoached, they weren't ready, Stafford looked rough, wasn't pretty in the opener against Buffalo. And Atlanta looked great for, about 3.5 quarters. Wasn't a good fourth quarter for the Falcons. What are we going to do with LA and Atlanta? You want to look at the total on this one? Right now, I'll just look at the WagerTalk live odds screen. I'm seeing the Rams pretty much 10.5 everywhere. Total sitting 47.5. What do we like with LA and Atlanta?
Well, Buffalo mostly beat the Rams through the air. The Falcons don't have that type of offense. Rather, they're going to pound the ball on the ground, especially after the way Patterson ran against the Saints. He finished with 122 rushing yards on 22 carries. So, a heavy dose of Patterson should help to chew up the clock and help to keep the Rams' offense on the sidelines. As you said, Teddy, that formula worked for much of the game against New Orleans. A closer look shows that the Falcons held the Saints to only 18 first downs while controlling the clock. Now they'll face an LA team which managed only 10 points and 243 yards in its first game. Sure, the champs will score more than the 10 they got against Buffalo, but they may have trouble getting to 30. They averaged 27 points per game last year. The Falcons likely won't get nearly that many. Keep in mind that they're still averaging only 16.4 points over their past 10 games. We pencil them in for 17, and the Rams for 27, we get 44. That said, I feel this total is generously high. I'm going with the under, Teddy.
Ben Burns, everyone. Keith Landry called you the Burnsinator. Another gentleman thinks you look like a young Jim Feist, which he kind of does, Teddy.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
With the shades and the beard and the backbiting.
And that's not a bad thing. When Jim was around Ben's age, I think he got married to like a 20-year-old, although she's wonderful. Wonderful. So, Ben, it could be worse, man. You could be compared to Teddy Covers, looking-wise, of course. Guys, Ben Burns is the $2 Tuesday handicapper. Ben, you're on a 20-10 run in your 5% max plays. You have, it's an NFL game, right? You've got a 5% game of the week in NFL up for the clients, only $2?
That's right, Prez. It's a early Sunday afternoon game. And yeah, I'm excited about it. I won my 5% on the Chargers last week, and I'm looking to go 2-0 out of the gate.
Nice. Guys, I got to tell you, I know Ben has just joined us recently in the last few months, but in all seriousness, and Teddy can attest to this, Ben is one of the top handicappers literally of all time. That's how good he is. We are honored to have him. And Teddy, we got some Ben Burns on our show today. Ben, thank you for joining us, brother. Get the hell out of here. Okay, so to recap, You got it, bro. To recap, Prez is pissed. He messed up last night. Ben Burns likes Auburn and the under in the Rams game. He's the $2 Tuesday handicapper. He's got a 5% max play up in the NFL. We also have the $5 deal going on at Sports Memo. 3 handicappers, only $5. My good friend Joe D'Amico, he's got a game of the month going. JM Sports and Dion D'Amico. Wow. Husband and wife team included in that package. So head over to Sports Memo, grab that. We're going to take a quick break, everybody. We're right back with Teddy's Big Game Breakdown. Carmine Bianco is here. We will talk about my text last night and, of course, Dave Sharapan. It's Flex Tuesday.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers' best bet or daily package for only $2.
It is time for today's big game breakdown. Let's give you some actionable info for Tuesday night and take a look at the MLB slate for this evening. Hey, we have a marquee matchup, the Yankees and the Red Sox. And it's a bettable marquee matchup. I think there is at least a modest edge in this ball game in favor. Well, we'll talk about the total. I'll just leave it at that. All right, right now looking at the Wager Talk live odds screen. Again, the Yankees, let's call them minus 160, total sitting at 8.5. Right now, the Yankees bats were basically silent all summer. Suddenly, they're heating up again. Back-to-back 10-run outbursts over the weekend against Tampa Bay. 5 runs or more for their last 6, 4-1 to the over the last 5. They've absolutely hammered Nick Pivetta. All 3 starts against the Yankees. All right, 13.1 innings for Pivetta. He's given up 19 hits, 8 walks, and 17 earned runs against the Bronx Bombers. It's not a good matchup for them. I think the Yankees will get their fair share. Garrett Cole, 3 starts with the Red Sox so far this year. Only 1 was good, and that game, the Yankees scored 11 runs for him by the 4th inning, and the over cashed anyway. It's easy for a pitcher to be good when he has a big lead. The other 2 starts, he was hit hard both times. He's got an ERA over 5 against the Red Sox this year, despite that 1, Jim. It's worth noting. The Yankees are just 2-5 in Cole's last 7 trips to the Hill. I'm not laying this price at Fenway. Boston, 17-run outburst against Baltimore over the weekend, and very quietly, under the radar, they've scored 5 or more 7 times their last 8 ball games at Fenway. Yeah, I know the pitchers in this game are supposed to be pretty good. I'm not buying it. I think we'll see runs at Fenway. Over's the bet tonight. Look for the Yankees and Red Sox to score 9 runs or more. There's your big game breakdown. Back to you, Mr. Prez.
Teddy covers guys who purchased the Odd Couple promo. All of you guys received another promotion. 1 for Teddy, 1 for me. Obviously, Teddy killed it. Way to go, brother. So take advantage of that offer. And me, Teddy, well, I'm going under the laws of irony. You know? And that's this industry, bro. You have 1 million customers on, you lose. The next week, they all are mad at you and you win. So take advantage of what?
That's
Go
you.
ahead.
They're all mad at you, Prez. Anyone that bought me this last week is not mad at me, and I had the same number of customers as you did.
Yes.
With this promo. So
this is what
as
I
we
just
said last week at this time, I'm like, you were talking the talk, you were talking smack, and I told you I'm going to win this week. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Way to go, Teddy! As one of the co-founders and owners of Wager Talk, you just keep frickin' winning, bro. Okay?
I'm trying, brother.
Win. Speaking of winning, Carmine Bianco, the only man I know still left in Survivor. What
Yes,
up, Carm?
I have all three of my entries did survive this week, and I did have a 5-0 week in the Circa Millions, so I'm pretty happy. But as you said, it's only week one. It's a 20-week contest for the Survivor and an 18-week for the Circa Millions. So there's a long way to go. So it just put week one behind you and move on to week two.
Yeah, that is for sure, dude. We love having you on. We're going to talk soccer. Look, this show is not all about football all the time. With that said, if Teddy had his way, it would be. But we do have other sports going on. And we got the World Cup starting, I think, November 20th, give or take. Super excited. Canada's winning the whole thing. But let's get straight into the Bayern Munich game. They're playing Barcelona. Carm, this is a big matchup. I mean, these are two of the top club teams on the planet. Here they face each other. Munich is minus 120, Barca plus 260, and the draw at 3-3-3. How should we bet this game?
Yeah, when they drew the group stages about I think it was like two and a half weeks ago, they couldn't have scripted it better as far as teams in groups. You had Man City, who signed the best striker, as they're calling him, the best striker in the world right now, Erling Haaland from Borussia Dortmund, and they play in the same group and are playing each other this week. And then you have Barcelona, who signed Robert Lewandowski, a mainstay at Bayern Munich, and now they travel back to Munich to face Bayern with their best striker, and the guy's off to an absolutely heated start. He's scoring in La Liga. He's already scored 3 goals in the first game for Barcelona. But you look at the markets, and I have everyone asking me, can Barcelona win this game? Can they win this game? If you look at the markets and the way the books have priced this, minus 110, minus 115, minus 120, it is the shortest price I've ever seen on Bayern Munich at home in a Champions League game in the group stages in like years. They're always minus 200 or higher. And it's because this Barcelona team is stacked. They've got a midfield. They're playing extremely well. They're playing well. But going against going against Bayern Munich at home in Munich is a losing proposition. You look at their last 37 games at home for Bayern, and they have gone 35-1-1 at home in Champions League group stages. You have to go back to 2013, losing 3-2 to Man City, and in 2018 for that draw where they finished 1-1 against Ajax. So this is a team that just does not lose at home. Does that mean I'm going to take them? No, it doesn't, because this is a Barcelona team. I'm watching them, and they're just playing extremely well right now. You got to go to the secondary markets, and that's where we're going. You can actually take in this game both teams to score, and it is a result that's tied together. Both teams to score and over 2.5, and the line on that one is minus 160 to 165. It's a little higher juice, but it is a bet that I just do not see how it doesn't get there. At the very least, both these teams are going to score, and we're going to get 3 goals or more in this game. So both teams to score and over 2.5, minus 163 I'm seeing on my screen is the play here. We're going to see a great game here. This isn't going to be low scoring. We're going to see both teams get on the score sheet and ultimately somebody get the result. So both teams to score and over 2.5 is the right play here.
We're talking UFA Championship League Soccer with Carmine Bianco. Carm, let's take a look at a Wednesday game for tomorrow. We have the Italian side, Juventus, hosting the Portuguese side, Benfica. And the early money is coming on the visitors, at least over the last couple of days. Is the market move justified? Do you think that Benfica is a team that deserves market support right?
Teddy, aces on your pronunciation, Juventus.
Yeah.
The J is silent. And Benfica, you are the man. I love it. The Prez would have just called him Juventus. That's with the J in there. Everyone does that. It drives me nuts. But to your question, Teddy, this is, in Champions League, just because you have so many competitive games, I'm always trying to look at or anticipate ones where I perceive there's a false move in the market or it's a bad move in the market. And I think this is one of them. Juventus opened when this line came out at plus 100 and now have been steamed up in the opposite direction to 120 as Benfica money comes in. And it's because Juventus are struggling in league play. They're unbeaten, but they're 3 wins and 3 draws through 6 games. They lost their opening game in Paris against PSG 2-1 in a game that on paper, statistically, the analytical numbers were even, but the game is played on the field and not on paper. And then you look at Benfica, 6-0 in league play thus far at home. They're running over teams. And they won their first game 2-0 against Israeli side Maccabi Haifa, Prez. I pronounced that correctly. With that said, you look at this, and I look at some of the outside numbers. Benfica, yes, they're running over teams at home. In their league, but 4 of those games were against teams that are 13th or worse in the standings. They have yet to play any of the top teams in their league, whereas Juve have. And then in that game, Champions League game where they won 2-0 at home, they struggled for the first 50, 55 minutes of the game to even get a good opportunity against a team that set up really well defensively. Juventus are a better defensive side than that team is, or than anybody that they faced thus far. And when traveling to Italy, Benfica has not played well. They've lost 10 of 12 games when traveling to Italy and have lost all 3 Champions League games. With that said, Di Maria, a big part of one of their big off-season signings, returns for this game. He's only played in 3 games thus far, been injured for 4 of them, and they're 2 wins and 1 draw in those games that he's been a part of this team. I still think they need a new manager, and that could happen if they don't get a result today, or on Wednesday. But I'm going to take them plus 120, and this could steam up a little higher, plus 125, plus 130 by game time. So you might want to sit on it a bit. I think the Benfica money is going to come in, but that's a bad move, I think, or a false move. So give me the home side here, getting the plus money.
Carmine Bianco, everyone. There's some soccer picks for you all. Carm, you've got a promo up for our clients. What is it?
Yeah, so there's 2 of them. I'll discuss the first one real quickly. You can get 7 days of soccer all access, and I have a 5% play going today, which is normally $35. You can get 7 days for $59 by using the code Champions20 at checkout, and you'll get 7 days for less than $10 a day at $59. And we are doing something that has not been done at WagerTalk yet, and this is a pilot project. The World Cup is coming up. You can get my World Cup package over at WagerTalk for I believe $199, and you will get access to our Discord channel. It's a private channel where you're going to get every single in-game play, every single second half play I put in live in-game. When I put it in, you get the play. This is almost a concierge type service, and it is a pilot project we are doing, and something that will eventually happen for Andrew and I as the co-hosts of Puck Time. So if you buy that package, you will find out how you'll get every in-game play as it happens through our Discord channel at WagerTalk, which has been set up as a private channel. You can only get it by getting the World Cup complete package.
Carmine Bianco. Teddy, it's funny with Carm. I would say that Carm is pretty much giving up any form of a life to do what he is about to do in the World Cup. I mean, he is going to have to be watching games all day, all night, on his phone all day, all night, with his computer all day, all night. He will barely be able to eat. His wife is going to be knocking on my door. It's going to be insane. However, none of that is true, because that's what Carm does right now anyway. There is never a time that I have called or texted or even seen Carm, and that includes when he's floating around in my pool, that he does not have a phone in front of him and he's not watching soccer. And I mean never. He goes to poker tournaments, he's watching soccer. He goes to dinner, he's watching soccer. This guy, Carm, You need a vacation, man. Anyway, thanks, Carmine Bianco. Guys, make sure to take advantage of his promo Champions20. Get $20 off of his 7-day all access. Plus, of course, his World Cup picks. Dave Sharapan. Oh, you want to talk, Teddy? I saw a little finger move.
Just real quick, I was just going to say his wife's not coming over to your house. Now let's bring in Dave Sharapan.
Oh, should we have another one of those conversations? David
You like
Sharapan. What up, my brother?
Listen, I saw Teddy leaning in, and I was in the green room going, did he just say that Carm's wife is going to be knocking on his door? He did say that. That sounded like some drama on a Tuesday. Look, Theodore heard it too. I think the people in the chat, the people might have heard this. I don't want to start any drama. I don't know if his wife's knocking on your door or not. I'll bet the no. Carm's floating in your pool. You buried the lead with the whole thing. Seeing Carm floating in your pool, forget about the plays. I want to see that.
Okay, well, it's not really that great a sight, dude. It's freaking Carm floating in my pool. Like, close your eyes. You can get it right now if you want. He's still on the screen. Dave Sharapan, dude. Bloodbath at the Circus Survivor this week. I had 3 teams in. I have 0 teams left.
Coming to Vegas and donating to the cause. Thank you, Prez. That was nice of you.
My pleasure, dude. Anyway, I hand the segment over to Teddy.
The push? Did the push get you?
Well, Vivian had Indy. Teddy and I had San Fran. And I had Denver last night. Anyway.
Oh, boy. Sorry.
Teddy, get some actionable info out of him.
Well, let's first get a little recap info out of him.
Yeah.
So my impression for the opening Sunday of the NFL season was that Bettors did all right. Wasn't a great day for the books. Monday Night Football, obviously a different story, where the books got a lot of it back. But was I right in that assessment that week 1 was a week for the bettors, not for the bookmakers?
I talked to Chris Andrews yesterday on Bostonian versus the book, and he had a nice smile on his face and said the Sunday went very well for him. And it went very well, other than like the Ravens, which again, that's one of those cases that, you see the books taking 90% of the bets. It's being reported on different shows and all this stuff. And the line gets to 7, and the one guy, the rhombus or the parallelogram, I can't keep track anymore. They bet the Jets, and the books go to 6.5 and still take 90% of the bets, and they're the first ones to cry when the Ravens destroy the Jets. So Chris said it best. If you know how to cry, you can be a bookmaker. That's the first thing. Forget about power ratings and numbers like that. As long as you know how to cry, you're good. Niners going down, took down Survivor, took down a lot of people. Colts tying, push on the side on the money line, but loss on the teasers. Teasers got beat up. I mean, people got beat up on that. So books did okay. I don't know. I'm not keeping score. I don't know where the scoreboard is. I don't know who won, who lost as far as books versus public or pros versus Joes and all that stuff. But I know week 1 was a pretty good deal for both parties.
Sure. I enjoyed that interview you had with the legendary Chris Andrews on your show yesterday. I saw a clip of it on Twitter this morning where you guys were talking about how some books are talking about paying the Cowboys under 10.5 wins after week 1 of the season. What do you think of that move?
Oh, it's crazy. I mean, I guess, every book is up. It's up to their discretion to do these things and promotions and draw money. But I mean, they're paying it off so they can get the money recycled back into the system, which again, that's the reality of it. There's probably not that much money on the Dallas season win total.
Yeah, well,
that's the other reality of it. So we know why they're doing it, and they get more publicity out of it than it costs them to put the money back into people's accounts. I just think it's setting a precedent that's a little bit of a slippery slope. And Chris said that kind of the same thing. It's a different way of doing business. But listen, the industry's evolving. It's changing all the time, and I just am cautious about people telling you what's working and what's not when you're actually sitting in the book or you've sat in the book for years and knows what worked. And you're kind of being told that everything you know, you might as well throw out the window. But nobody knows Squadouche anyway, so we'll just kind of keep moving along and keep the train moving best we can.
Yeah, we're not quoting Norman
my
Chad
clients
on this
and
show.
I have a
Teddy,
my clients
read Slack.
as I texted back to you, Lawrence. I'm going to go next, like you told me to, and then you can
well,
talk.
okay. Well, you
right?
run the show.
Check your
then,
Slack,
dude. I'll
like
just,
you tell me.
Oh, boy.
So,
Flex Tuesday.
my
He's
clients
flexing.
and I,
Teddy's talking. Go ahead, Theodore.
Dave. The clients and I have a 5% big ticket on Dallas under 10.5 wins. So when they pay it out, if the books pay it out after week 1, I have no complaint here because that was the single strongest and biggest bet we made over the summer. Why don't you guys do that?
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, how do you feel about that now with Dak being out a minimum of 4 weeks? I mean, you got to feel even better about the positions.
Yeah,
Cooper Rush apparently is going to be the quarterback. So, sometimes you get the breaks your way. That's good. I'm interested in what else is going on in that division because if you throw Dallas out, they're not going to win 10, 11 games. Who is going to win that division, Teddy? Because Philadelphia wins, it doesn't cover. The Giants go on the road and win in Tennessee in a game that I'm not sure they arguably should have won, but they did. Knew a lot of sharp guys that were on Tennessee and had Tennessee in the Survivor. But I also know a lot of people that were on the Giants. And then Washington just holds serve and covers a short number at home. Is it that easy that Philadelphia wins that division?
Yes.
It looks that way now. And I'm going to owe Teddy $500 when that happens. Yeah, well, listen, unlike some people, I will honor that.
Whoa.
Dave Sharapan, just real quick, back in 2007, I was the marketing manager for a sports book. So I was it was a public company out of London. I was the chief marketing officer. And I will tell you, we ran promotions like we're going to give all your money back all the time. We would just pick games that nobody bet and send out press releases. So don't be fooled by that shit, dude. Like, seriously.
That's honesty right there, baby.
I mean, come on, man. How many freaking square bettors did this book have take Dallas under the total? Like, they probably handed out $6 and got a whole lot of publicity out of it. Teddy, let's get into the NFL card for week 2. Get some info out of this man.
Stop yelling. What's he always yelling for?
Bite me.
So, Dave, let's see if we can get some actionable info for the viewers of our show and those of you who download the podcast version as well and are just listening and don't get to see you smiling right now. But for our viewers, talk about early week NFL action. Where's the parallelograms coming in? Where are the rhombuses coming in? Anything that stands out to you in terms of early week NFL betting?
Well, week 1 is so unique, right? Because the numbers are up so long. So now you put these things up, and it's Tuesday when we do this show, and you can kind of get a roadmap, but you don't really know. I know the one game is why I'm wearing both Pat the Patriot hat and a Steelers shirt. I am from Pittsburgh. It's nighttime in Pittsburgh behind me on all my hits and all my shows. But they already played the Patriots. The look-ahead line was this, and then it went to pick when the Patriots went and laid an egg in Miami, and the Steelers beat Cincinnati on the road. Arguably a game they probably should have lost twice, but they didn't. And now you see New England's a favorite on top again. So whatever picks were gone or were there are gone, and it's already 1.5. And then I got to go listen to Peralta on Bostonian versus the book coming up here. Tell me about how the Patriots are the right side. I don't know what the right side is. Not yet. But the total, Teddy, 40.5. I mean, there were some ugly NFL games this past week. I think under's got to be the play in this one. I don't know. Najee says he's going to play. TJ Watt is definitely not playing with that torn pec. I don't know who's calling the plays in New England. I don't think anybody does. But they might have to make a change after that first game against Miami because they got down close and couldn't convert. A lot of things happened in that game. The other one, did you guys see the Vegas line? Like, Arizona was a pretty big disappointment against Kansas City at home. felt like it got up to a number that was a public dog, but that wasn't the case because some very sharp groups laid that early number 4.5 to 6 earlier in the week. And I think people bought on the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Raiders, off a loss, laying 6, 5.5, somewhere in between. Wow. Seems healthy to me. Just keep an eye on that one. If it touches 7, bad guys are coming on Arizona. That's it right now, at least for the early looks for NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly understand why Arizona is crashing in the betting markets this week. I crashed them in my power ratings this week. You can't sugarcoat that type of performance off of what happened down the stretch last year. You just can't, maybe they bounce back, maybe they don't. But from a where do we power rate them perspective, Arizona heading south pretty quickly in my numbers. Just a few minutes left here with Dave Sharapan. Dave, college football this week. Anything stand out? Who the pros like early? What's been bet up early or bet down early in the week?
Can't believe Penn State is favored by 3 or 3.5 at Auburn. I'm really surprised by that. I thought that would be short of the field goal. I would argue it could be pick. And I think they're waiting in line to bet that and take Auburn. Oklahoma's playing Nebraska. Nebraska's the biggest mess internally. I mean, they just fired Scott Frost, and they didn't even wait for the buyout to drop down, and just said, we got to get rid of him. Yet, Nebraska is the play. The bad guys have already spoken and taken the points with Nebraska. So, classic case of when nobody wants them, buy low. I hear you say that all the time. It's true. This will be the one that, will set apart the pros and the Joes, and we'll hear the talking about it all week. ESPN Game Day was going to go there. Instead, they're going to Boone, North Carolina to see App State. And App State's playing Troy. It's unbelievable. They're playing Troy, and that's where they're going. Yeah. So BYU Oregon's the other, really, I think, maybe it's a big-time game, but who wants Oregon in this spot? All anybody remembers is Oregon getting crushed by Georgia. Short favorite. BYU off a ridiculously long late-night West Coast game against Baylor finds a way to win and get the cover in overtime. I think that's your public dog of the week, Teddy. Keep an eye on BYU line movement in Oregon being the side.
Dave Sharapan, man, great job, Dave. Thanks for everything. We'll see you every Tuesday on this show. Flex Tuesday in the bag.
Tuesday.
Thanks to Dave.
Hold on.
What?
Dave,
what do you
is there anything you'd like to promote before we let you go?
Thank you, Theodore.
Lawrence wants to get out of here.
Trying to get me out of here. I don't want any drama. He's trying to run me out of here because we've got enough likes to do the presidential address. So make sure
Screw the presidential address. We didn't get enough likes.
People
so we
hit the
move
like
on to
button,
tomorrow.
Please. We have to hit the like button on Tuesdays because Prez needs his minute. Anyhow, Bostonia versus the book every day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. coming up right after this show, live on YouTube on props.com. MLB Network, I think we got one hit this week, maybe two, as pennant races heat up. Some interesting things there. Every day, Sports Grid and Sirius XM, 159, Sports Grid TV. The last hour I do is with Joe Ranieri of Wager Talk. It's a lot of laughs, and Joe's been really on point with a lot of that. Cash Considerations, 8 in the Box, college football podcast as well that I do, available on the Cash Considerations podcast YouTube channel. That was all in 20 seconds. Thank you, Prez. No drama. And please don't answer the door if Carm's wife knocks on your door.
I would never do that. Dave Sharapan, listen, next time you come on, can you write down all that stuff you have to promote so we can put it up on the screen? Holy freaking moly, bro.
I'll send a text, actually. I'm on the Bettors Sports Network, too, Bettor. We're doing that twice a week, too. You can find that all over social media and various platforms. Got to work while we can, Press. Come on.
Great show, man. Awesome. Love having you, Teddy. Yeah, we did get to 100 likes right now, but no daily presidential address because we didn't have it 1 second ago. So take us home, my brother. Tomorrow is going to be an awesome show.
Lawrence wants to go. That's going to wrap it for the Tuesday edition here at Wager Talk Today. No drama whatsoever. I want to thank Ben Burns. I want to thank Carmine Bianco, and of course, Dave Sharapan for joining us. I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day to spend with us right here at Wager Talk Today. Please download the brand new free Wager Talk TV app. If you haven't done it, you can get all of our content on demand right there on your phone. Wager Talk TV. Enjoy the games tonight, and good luck. We'll do it again tomorrow.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.